Hi friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will understand how to access Spring Bean from non-Spring class. So why this question arises? Because in Spring applications, there will be some situations where we need to access Spring Beans which are already created by the application context. We may need to use them in the non-Spring class, example utility classes. In order to avoid duplicate code, we may need to reuse the existing object in the utility class. This situation will definitely occur in real-time Spring applications. So how can we solve this problem? Let's get into IDE. So here, let's say I have created one service class, email service. So what it will be doing is it will be sending an email. So this is a Spring Bean only because I have annotated with @component. Okay. So here there will be some logic. This is I'm not sending the email really here, but some logic will be there here. Okay. Let's print the email to subject body here. Anyway. Okay. So this one maybe there is a service already created in your application. This is a Spring Bean because it will be created by the application context or Spring container, right? And you have another utility class. Here you will have all the methods related to email utilities. And here you want to provide one static method. So normally in utility classes we provide static methods, right? So that we no need to create objects for utility class. Directly using the class name we can access the method, right? That's why this is how we create the utility classes, right? Static methods we provide. So here this is not a Spring Bean, this is normal class. Okay, so the object for this we won't be creating. Directly you will be calling this method using the class name because this is a static method, right? Yeah. So here I want to reuse this one, email service. How can I do that? So normally if this is a Spring Bean, directly I can use the setter injection or constructor injection using auto void annotation, right? But this is non-Spring class, we cannot do that. We cannot use auto void here, we cannot inject it. So how can we do that? So normally just think, in order to get any bean, normally what we need, if you see here, annotation config application context. If you have this application context, then you can call getBean method, right? Directly you can take like this, you can call getBean, right? But in order to get bean from an application context, what we need? First of all, we need application context, right? But application context is already in the memory, it is already created. Okay, if in web applications by the dispatcher servlet, it will be already created. In Spring Boot applications, it is already created. Here also, let's say it is already created. So how can I get that here? So first of all, we need to get the application context. Instance we have to get. So application context object we need to get here. How can we get it? So that is the number one question. Simple. In the previous video, that is on the Spring Bean lifecycle, we saw one stage, right? That is application context aware. So if a bean implements application context aware, then Spring container will automatically inject the application context instance, right? That's what we saw, right? Let's take one example here. In the previous class, in the previous session, in the Spring Bean lifecycle video, user service, we saw the bean lifecycle, right? Here we discussed application context aware. So when we implement application context aware, automatically Spring container will call set application context to set the application context. That means it will pass the object of this application context so that it will be available here. But for that, it should be a user service should be a Spring Bean. But in our case, it is not a Spring Bean. So what we have to do? So we need to have a Spring Bean dedicated for providing the application context, so that whenever I need the application context anywhere, not only in email utilities, in anywhere, any Spring class which is not Spring class, sorry, which is a class which is not a Spring, anywhere I can call that class method directly to get the application context. We will see that how. This is a pattern we have to follow. Let's create one class. Okay, here application context. Let's call it as provider. Okay, this class is meant for providing the application context always. Okay, let's create it. So this is a Spring Bean only. Okay, this is a Spring Bean. It should be basically Spring Bean, and it has to implement what? Application context aware, right? So what will happen? You have to add the unimplemented method. You need to here set up, we need to implement this set application context. So using this, what you can do, you can define a variable here. Let's say it is a private variable, and it is basically an application context. Okay, let's say app context, app ctx, like this, something. Okay, so this one you can set using this, right? App ctx equals to application context. So I'm basically setting a variable, and this one I cannot, again this is a Spring Bean, I cannot directly access it. But if I make it a if I add a static method directly using the class name, I can get that, right? So what I can do is I can add a static method. What I can say, public static, what it returns, let's say application context. Then I can say get application context. That's it. So what we can return here, we can return this one. But here this is not a static variable, so this will give the compile time error, right? Static cannot reference non-static, right? So I have to make it static. That's it. See, now using this class name directly I can call this method to, and this will definitely return this variable value, that is nothing but the application context. Beautiful, right? So this is a pattern we have to follow. Okay, this is how we create an application context provider to get an application context. So once we get the application context, then we can get the beans, Spring Beans, anywhere, right? Yes, we will see that now. So in email utils, I have to get the application context. How can I get application context equals to application, first let's import it, application context equals to application context provider dot get application context. That's it. Here I will get the application context. Once I get the application context, it's very simple, right? What we can do now, we can get the bean. What bean you want to get? I want to get the email service bean. So email service dot class, I can pass like this. I will get the email service bean. So what I can say, I can assign that to email service, email service equals to this one. That's it. So using this, now I can call the method. What is the method available here? Send mail, right? That's it. Now I want to utilize this send a mail email service that I have already created here to test it out. So this is where I am using email utils. Okay, let's say example. So I want to call that method. So it will work, right? Yes, it will definitely work. Yes, it is sending email to rakeshkuchana@gmail.com. Email subject, email body. So this is how you can access the Spring Bean. So this, from where it is coming, this content? From the email service. Basically, who is creating the object for it? Spring container. But who is accessing this bean? Email utils is accessing. How it is accessing? In order to access that, first it is getting the application context. Then it is accessing the bean. So this is how we need to do. We need to approach. So first we need to access application context. Then we need to access bean from the application context. These are the two steps. Interesting, right? So for that we need to create a separate class, because this will be used globally anywhere in the Spring application. Anywhere if you need Spring Bean from non-Spring class, just call this one, application context provider dot get application context. It is a static method using the class name, directly we can call it. And anyway, this is already stored in the memory application context that we are getting. Interesting, right? Okay, so this is how we need to approach. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like. If you have any questions, comment, and please share this with your friends. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you.